And welcome to the We Like Sportz Show. I'm your host, Ed in Columbus, with my co-host, Keith Allen. How's it going,
What's going on? Nothing much. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing really well. I see our Cleveland Guardians got a new skipper today. So welcome to the land, Stephen Vogt. Looks like we got election day tomorrow, but it looks like the Guardians voted for him today.
Yeah, surprise.
Was kind of a surprise. I think a bigger surprise was Craig Counsell becoming the manager of the Chicago Cubs. So David Ross is out as manager in Chicago. That one kind of came out of nowhere. So a big get for the Chicago Cubs there.
Because he had interviewed here and he had interviewed with the Mets, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That is correct. So. Yeah, so a lot of happenings around the diamond today. We are welcoming back a guest that we had on last week because we promised that we would if the Texas Rangers won the World Series. And, a little bit of me feels really good for him and Arlington, but also a little bit of me is sad because, once again, it's another team winning the World Series without our Cleveland Indians / Guardians winning since 1948. So that one kind of gets to me a little bit, but I'm always happy for another fan base to win. The Diamondbacks had won in 2001, so it's good to see somebody else get to share.
That means it's going on 75 years since.
Yes, Keith, yes.
Wow.
I know.
They got to win one.
Also, too, since we love history on the We Like Sportz Show, on this day, I was 15 years old, but November 6, 1995, I remember one Arthur B. Modell flying to Baltimore and was in the parking lot, and Governor Paris Glendening declaring that the Browns are coming to Baltimore. And it happened this date in 1995, a date that will live.
Wow. I remember that.
Yeah.
I was 20. I was 20.
You don't have to date yourself if you don't want to. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Yeah, I remember that. I remember coming home from work at the time.
Really was heartbreaking for me was I moved down to Columbus in 92. So, and then I went up, it was probably the last days in October, right after the Indians had lost the World Series to the Atlanta Braves. I went to the Great Northern Mall.
Yep.
And I bought myself what they had, the dugout jackets that Mike Hargrove and the 95 Tribe wore, because I love those with the collar, really, really neat looking. And I just remember driving past Cleveland Municipal Stadium at the time on I-90, and I got an eerie feeling. And there were some rumblings. At the time, Will McDonough, NBC News, was reporting that there might be some inklings that Modell would be moving the team to Baltimore, but nothing was as concrete as what we got on this date, 1995, when he had flown in Al Lerner's plane to Baltimore in the parking lot of what is Camden Yards today,
Wow.
So I'll never forget that. And it's just, like I said, we love history. That doesn't mean all history is good, but we don't want to repeat history. We got our team. And it's funny about that because obviously we're playing the Baltimore Ravens this week, obviously. So
ain't that something? Yeah.
It kicks off Ravens week, and it just happens to be a not so pleasant reminder of why we should hate the Ravens even more than the Steelers.
And this is why the Browns have to get that W coming up this Sunday.
Absolutely. You're absolutely correct. Yes. Why are we happy, people out there that, We Like Sportz Show audience? No, it's no, a secret that we are fans of the Cleveland Browns, and our team won yesterday, but that also sets up a meeting in Baltimore this upcoming week. And Keith, as you saw, which I think is very cool, all 4 teams in the AFC North would be playoff participants if the season ended today, with the Bengals getting it done against the Bills last night, 24-18, which we called on the Locked On Sports 216 show, by the way.
Sure did. Matter of fact, I had all 4 of the AFC North teams winning this past week.
Wow. I mean, that's it just shows you the competitive balance that we have in our division, but also how strong our division is. So that's going to be something to look at moving forward. And now as the teams play each other head to head, I mean, that's really going to be something to watch. So, hey, we'll have to get it done. But, since Peyton, he was going to join us today, he's on assignment. But so we'll get into a little housekeeping right now because, we got to pay the bills. So we'll do that. But, like I always say, and one of our new partners, Dubby. So, it's Dubby time. So if you want an energy drink that you can mix at home that doesn't give you the jitters or make you crash? If so, then try Dubby. Their products have no calories, no sugar, no maltodextrin. And like I always say, I am not a chemist or a scientist. I have no idea what that is. But the fact that they don't have it, I believe that's a good thing. And so should you. No fillers and no artificial colors. Dubby has great flavors such as Dragonade, Galaxy Grenade, Beach and Peach, and Dub Sludge. Get your dubs there. Head on over to dubby.gg and use the coupon code We Like Sportz to get 10% off your order. So you'll want to do that. And shout out to our other sponsors at Official League. They got cool hats over there, so you want to check them out. And also check out the Snooze You Lose podcast with Uncle Joe the Black Bookie. He'll get you set with his Sunday Snooze You Lose pick of the week. So who doesn't want to, have a little sports entertainment and make a little coin on the side? So you want to check out the Snooze You Lose podcast with Uncle Joe the Black Bookie. And also, too, if you want a good protein product, head on over to Titan Nutrition, titannutrition.net. /We Like Sportz. So they'll get you hooked up over there if you want to get into get physical, want to get, so you'll want to head on over and do that as well. So, so like, as we were saying, we talked about also too, when we have Ashton Nix on, our guest, I won't get into it too much right now, but I got to say, watching the Eagles Cowboys game yesterday, that was quite a game. Give me one thought on it. We'll tease the audience before we have Ashton on, but definitely I want to get your opinions because I was watching that game and I kept thinking about you the whole time and thinking what we're going to say today.
Dallas's offensive line died at the time they needed that line the most.
Yeah, he took that sack and geez, and they were moving the ball and everything looked like
it was at the 5-yard line.
Okay, I don't want to get too much into it, but I had to put that little tease out there. That little tease out there. I had to do that, but when I don't know.
Dak needed his line the most. They let him down.
You know what? But you know what won't let us down, and what I won't let you guys down. I think it's time for This is Eddie Columbus with your We Like Sportz breaking news. That's right. USC quarterback and most likely number 1 overall pick in the next year's NFL draft, Caleb Williams, jumped into the stands and cried after the Trojans lost to Washington this past Saturday. Williams said he wanted to go home and cuddle with his dog. When asked if his dog wanted to cuddle with Williams, the dog said, "I don't cuddle with losers."
Boy, Riley better get used to those nights in the Big Ten.
Rookie phenom C.J. Stroud now has more TD passes than Steelers' second-year quarterback Kenny Pickett and did so in 13 fewer games. Also, Stroud has a bigger hand size than Pickett currently does, and he did so by the 5th grade. And finally, tomorrow is Election Day, so go out and vote. The Guardians casted their vote today, and they voted for Steven. And this is Eddie Columbus with you. We Like Sportz breaking news.
Where did vote come from?
I have no idea.
I knew what?
They interviewed him. I knew they interviewed him. They gave him a second interview, and I guess that became their guy. Maybe they wanted counsel or something, and he didn't want to come there.
They did want a council.
Yeah. Well,
they wanted
he signed a large deal, like 5 years, $40 million or something, I believe.
Who, vote?
No. They only gave vote a 3-year deal, I believe. Yeah, well, shows how much faith they must have in him. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah. Well, you know what? You can get nice products, Keith, if you go to TJ Maxx. It may be something cheaper, but you know what? It's still Polo. It's still Ralph Lauren. It's just maybe cut a different way or just, sized differently. I don't, just saying.
The Guardians will never win the World Series as long as the present ownership is still running this club. I hate to say it like this, but
it's you know what though, they came close with Tito obviously in 2016, but you're right, the consistency and the playoff making inability lately has been frustrating because especially this year you're coming off a 92 win season, and then you follow it up with, especially in Tito's last year, a team that doesn't even qualify, and that's the most heartbreaking because you look at Jose Ramirez and you know what, he's not getting any younger, and just like Myles Garrett and everything with the Cleveland Browns, you don't want to be wasting these years. Like these are very, very, very formidable years in their prime, and
truthfully, be honest, the front office hasn't really tried to win since 18.
That's kind of, yeah. I mean, they've kind of been
For
cutting.
real.
The only thing I will say, what I do like about our front office, and I think it had to do a lot with injuries, but the fact that they brought those 3 kids up from the minors, and Gavin Williams, Bybee, and Logan Allen. I like the fact that they can get younger, but at the same time, just like Texas did in the World Series and throughout the playoff, and they went 11-0 on the road. You got to win with hitting. Everybody talks about pitching, and pitching's fine. You need some hitters. The 90s tribe taught us that, yes, you do need pitching, and they lost to Atlanta. I get that and everything. But at the same time, you got to score some damn runs. And I talked to somebody at my work, and we always every day, Frank, shout out to Frank, but small ball. He lives in the 1980s. And with Vince Coleman and the St. Louis Cardinals and how they played small ball. But essentially, you got to score runs. You need the big hits. You saw Corey Seager. You saw Garcia for Texas. You got to hit the long ball. Chicks dig the long ball, but so does everybody else. And that's how you win a Major League Baseball. And it's just.
And you know what's sad on top of that? The Guardians got 2 Gold Glove winners again.
Shout out to Stephen Kwan and Jimenez for getting it done.
Yep. Stephen Kwan and the Menace.
Yeah, I let's see here. I got my Stephen Kwan bobblehead right here. Yeah, so.
Oh, okay. That's pretty big size.
Yeah, I get him out. You know what? He won his Gold Glove, so let's get him out here. We'll show him off to the We Like Sportz crowd. But yeah, they gave this away during the season. Yeah, we'll get him out. We'll get him. Hey, Stephen. Hey,
Steve, you should be playing center field next season.
Yeah, he should.
But knowing the Guardians, they'll probably trot out that same outfield from last year.
No, you're not a big Miles Straw fan who made. Shout out to Casey who got a Miles Straw jersey because of my bet with him that he would actually hit a home run, and then Casey goes down to Tropicana Field and hits a home run in front of him. So I'm glad Casey had a fun time at my expense.
No, I'm not a Miles Straw fan, and I have nothing against the guy. He could be at best a late inning defensive replacement and a pinch runner. You got rid of 2 possible offensive outfielders in the offseason in Nolan Jones, who did his thing in Colorado this year, and another one, Will Benson, and he was a first-round pick.
Yeah.
That would have drove me out of Oz Tito Francona, to be honest. Right there. It's like, what is y'all doing?
Yeah. It's frustrating. Like I said, and it's funny because the series that they lost to in 2022, to the Yankees, and it's just like they played so well, and then Judge comes up, he hits a 3-run homer and things like that. It's just like you see the blueprint in baseball. It's like, yes, it's strikeout and home runs, but we don't hit the long ball. We don't have enough players, and to Miles Straw's defense, he would be a very, very serviceable center fielder if you were getting production and power numbers from your left and your right fielder like we had in the 90s. That's the problem with the Guardians makeup. They don't have enough power. And then when Naylor got hurt, that really just threw things off.
And like I said, if Miles had played for Toronto, you wouldn't notice it. If he'd have played for Houston again, you wouldn't notice it. If he played for Texas, you wouldn't notice it. But here, we can't afford to waste spots in the lineup.
That's true. That's
absolutely true. The Guardians lineup is technically like a little F lineup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then after that, strike out.
Well, I always joke around and say it takes them 5 hits to get 1 run. I know that's mathematically impossible, but they need 5 hits to get 1 run. That's how bad they are.
And to think now, I got any hope in this team in the future?
Well, they didn't hire me as manager. I dressed up. I tried. I interviewed with Chernoff, and it didn't work out.
I'm just gonna say hopefully the vote managerial thing works out, but think of the Eric Wedge and
I thought that's funny you said. I thought the first thing I thought when they hired him was Eric Wedge, but Eric Wedge got, I don't know, maybe he had photos or something, but in any other market I think he might have gotten fired, but he stayed around. In that 2007 season they were one win away from making the World Series. Should have beat Boston up 3-1, and that they probably would have beat Colorado in the World Series, and Eric Wedge would have been a World Series champion.
Yeah, because right now I don't have no faith in this team for real, for real. I don't,
Well,
because we got prospects. They keep checking us off every year with that. And
yeah.
what have them prospects amounted to for real, for real?
Well, the problem is that the prospects are always good on the pitching side. We just cannot develop those hitters that other. It's very very frustrating.
Name a outfield prospect that the Guardians have developed.
Is this a trick question? Because I'm gonna be here all night. If
And actually, name a prospect that the Guardians have developed really since the Eric Wedge years.
well, like I said, we want people to stay tuned in. So maybe we need to stop asking these questions. That you hear birds chirping.
And the
Because,
last one, that was Grady Sizemore, wasn't it?
yeah, 5 tool Grady side. Yeah. Were you part of Grady's ladies? Is that
Grady's Slade. I remember that too.
Yeah, that was some fun.
All them Cougars.
Yeah, and then
and them
it had to be better than I remember Charlie's Fries or whatever he had. That was we've had some fun in Cleveland when it comes to our little fan clubs for our players. It just hasn't amounted to that championship that we've.
Yeah, because be honest, think about it. Even the year, like you said, when they lost to the Yankees recently, they didn't even pitch Shane Bieber in Game 5.
Yeah, he didn't want to take the rubber. He didn't want to take it. I don't know. Well, I don't know, but I guess if you want to have a sad show, we'll keep talking about it. Or
no.
Yeah,
we'll the Guardians. I can go get another hat, throw on.
Yeah,
but I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do that. Plus, I got to see you on today, so hey.
Yeah, going back to like I said, we were talking about it pregame in it, but the Frank Robinson, and for all those young cats out there, Frank Robinson, first African American manager, also hit a home run on opening day in 1975 for your
Cleveland in the fire engine red uniform.
Yeah, had it beat the Yankees that day. It was over the Yankees, so
that sucked. But hey, who's counting?
Yeah, nobody there. So Major League Baseball, like I said, what do you think, Craig Counsell? So you think the Cubs, I mean, are they making a major push to get back to the World Series again? I mean, I think that's such a great hire, and he comes over from the Brewers, so
they're trying.
Yeah,
because didn't the Cubs go wild card last year, or did they just barely miss out this past year?
I believe they barely missed out.
Barely missed out. So
yeah,
they're trying.
Yeah, I think that but once again,
the Cubs wasn't even in the running at first. They just came out of nowhere.
No, and if you're David Ross, the manager, I think he kind of got blindsided by that. So
yeah, because I was like, "Whoa, where did he come from?"
Yeah,
how did that happen? But Chicago's wallet is bigger than ours, so
yeah, just like I said, that goes back to the whole. I think that's why Vogt got a 3-year deal. I think that's why they went with him, and it's they didn't make that major push for like a caliber of Craig Counsell. But you know what? Who knows? Maybe this Vogt guy Stephen Vogt, welcome to the land, and maybe he'll turn out to be the guy that Cleveland needs. They didn't get it done with Tito Frencona, so I don't know. A lot of people were saying, and I saw on social media today, they're saying, most overrated position in sports is MLB manager. Maybe I don't know. I mean, it's
how can I say this? Do you think the Guardians get to the postseason if you still have Manny Acta?
No, but here's what I think. I think a lot of times it depends if you got a veteran club or you got a bunch of younger guys. I think all clubhouses are just made up differently. So
think about this. Tito, most of the time as manager of the Guardians and the Tribe, that team usually was younger players.
Yeah. Well, that's what they needed. They needed that veteran leadership, and they needed somebody to kind of guide them. But I think as they've gotten older, though, I think like this year, you look at the team, and I just think that no matter what they did, they didn't have enough horses. They were missing another power bat. and it hurts because, you traded the guy to Florida, the guy that we brought in, the first baseman, Bell. Yeah, Bell. And it's like, it just didn't seem to work out when they were, wearing our uniform.
And
but
you traded him while you was one game back in the Central.
Yeah, so it's funny because I remember our general manager had to fly out to Colorado at the time or something, I believe, or like whatever, and tell them, have a meeting, and because it was such a mutiny and things. So I don't know.
It was all bad last year. I'd never seen nothing like that.
Yeah, and then I saw the Reds decline the $20 million option on Joey Votto. So
Joey Votto up in years now. So
yeah, he's like 39 years old, I think. So 40 years old. So
yeah.
That doesn't say they're not going to re-sign him. I just think they declined that option. I mean, I'm sure he'll probably get interest from a veteran club. I mean, he's a hired bat, and he's probably bat around 300, and doesn't have quite the home run production that he used to. But I mean, he's probably better than what we're trotting out there.
I ain't got no comment.
Okay, fair enough.
Like they say, if you ain't got nothing good to say, sometimes you better not say.
It's like that, y'all. It's like that. How's this? A question for you, because I like to, so we set our clocks back an hour. How you doing with that? Because now that it gets dark at 5:30 basically.
I'm good. It is what it is. Kind of hate this time of the year for real.
Okay.
Because I remember back when I used to work 12 hours, I would get up, it'd be dark. Now I'd come home, it'd be dark. So this type of the year, I don't like it. Top of it, now it's about to start being cold and everything. It's like,
yeah, I know. I just, like I said, I woke up today and I'm like, okay, I thought it was going to be lighter earlier than what it was, because usually, but it was still dark, and then it gets, it's just always dark. I don't know anymore. And I don't know, but I'll tell you what's not dark is, like I said, we were talking about this yesterday, the Cleveland Browns defense. I mean, that's something we can talk about.
Yes, sir.
We'll go around the NFL, but like I said, hey, if you haven't noticed, people,
thumbs up section, ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, I wanted to change that. We're all gloom and doom. Let's talk about something positive here. And yeah, it was fun to watch, don't you think? And you watched around the NFL yesterday, and you're seeing, all these other teams, and I look at our Browns team, and it's just like, wow, that defense is definitely something special compared to these other teams, and that's something to hold our hats high to. And I don't know, I feel like once the Browns can get that offense clicking consistently, it's gonna be
tough to beat.
Yeah,
it's gonna be tough to beat, because 54 yards of offense.
Yeah. That's amazing. I mean, look, I understand the Cardinals had, I don't mean what fifth string quarter. I don't even know what he was, but
you know what? I don't care about that.
Right.
Because look, I'm gonna tell you this. I don't care about that, because you seen other rookies tear it up this past weekend. Will Levis last Thursday almost brought Tennessee back against Pittsburgh, and almost did it in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud at Houston.
Whew. I'm glad you mentioned CJ Stroud, because the more and more I think about him and how great he is and everything, it's like, wow, for a rookie, was it 14 touchdowns, 1 interception? Like, my goodness, like he had an easier transition from college to the pros than he did from at Ohio State when he came in.
He actually looked better as a rookie in the NFL than he did his first year at Ohio State.
I know.
First year starting at Ohio State. Yeah. Which, if I was honestly, I can't say from the GM in Carolina, because I heard that the owner wanted Bryce Young.
Yeah, and
most of the brass at Carolina really wanted CJ Stroud. But
wow. Well, I don't understand these owners. I understand you own the football team, but you hire football guys, and shouldn't you kind of go with what you hired? Aren't they? I don't know. That's just me.
But you remember the Browns back in was this about 2014 or 15 when we had that fateful draft?
Are you talking about Mr. Johnny Manziel?
Yeah, but they hired a firm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
to
right.
find a
That's right.
quarterback, and they
100,000. Yeah.
told
Corn Fairy.
yeah,
Yep.
and they told him to hire. They told them to draft Teddy Bridgewater with that pick.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they paid $100,000 just to get Teddy Bridgewater, and they didn't even draft him. Didn't even take their own advice, and they paid for it.
But also, you got to look at Carolina. Didn't Carolina win yesterday too?
Oh, we'll have to go around the NFL.
See.
Yeah, I had. Yeah, were they off?
No, they played, but I don't know. I think they won. But I would have took Stroud. I'm gonna be honest. And
yeah, and I mean it's not even close.
Oh yeah, because Stroud had all the measurables.
Well, that's the thing. I don't understand.
No, I mean, the Carolina Panthers lost to Indianapolis.
Oh, they did. Okay.
I would have took Stroud because I'm gonna be honest.
Well, I know it's funny watching that game, and like I said, people think I'm a Baker hater, and watching Baker go down with that drive, and he thinks he's going to win the game, and it kind of reminded me of the Browns beating Carolina in Week 1 last year, when he goes down and he scores, and then we go down there and get that field goal, and it's kind of like once again the rug was pulled under from Baker Mayfield, and it's I don't know, you can't really blame him.
Blame the defense, yeah, you can't even blame Baker. Baker did what he was supposed to do. Honestly.
But it's just so I don't know. It's just something maybe he's snake bitten a little bit when it comes to, because even when he does have success, it's like they're gonna obviously look back at that game and be like, well, that's obviously you look at Tampa's record, and they're still in the thick of things, and there's a lot of these teams that are 3-5 or 4-4. You're still in it because you go on a little run here.
The only reason why they're in it because they're in the NFC South.
Exactly.
That's it. Other than NFC South, it's like the AL Central. In the NFL.
Yikes.
That's the only reason why they in it. They could be 3-12 and they'll probably still be in it. Because nobody running away from nobody in that division. And think about this. Ever since they've been talking about Baker and all this, and I see a lot of the stuff I see on Facebook and a lot of these Browns posts about these people hating on Deshaun and all this, but Tampa Bay is 3-5. They done lost 4 straight.
Yikes.
4 straight.
Yikes. Yeah, I don't. And that, like I said, well, I mean, that's the NFL, and it's like, these games are decided by such slim margins, and gosh, it's really tough there. But like I said, I thought he played well, and it's funny because
he played well.
Yeah, and then you see these quarterbacks that don't play well, and their teams get the victory. So it's just one of those things, and
it's just one of those odd years in the NFL this year. Because offense has went down.
Yeah, I think so. Yes, you're right. It's these games aren't as high scoring. I mean, you get some games that are, but overall, and what do you attribute that to? Do you think it's just bad offensive play calling, more turnovers? I mean, it's kind of, or just a combination of everything.
I think the NFL went to the trend of defense more so. Think about this. Every team in the AFC North's defense is probably ranked in the top 10.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And
we know the Browns are. We know the Browns and the Steelers probably, and then
the Ravens.
The Bengals. Yeah, obviously the Ravens. Yeah,
and the Bengals ain't that far away.
Yeah,
because they're tough too. Because think about it, they held Buffalo to 18.
That was. Buffalo, we talked about it yesterday, but they're one of those teams where they don't look right. There's just something they're not in sync, or I don't know what the case may be. I thought it was kind of eerie too watching. I saw the footage of Damar Hamlin before the game, and he's on the logo for about 15 minutes. I thought that was a kind of a surreal moment. I'm sure that must have been spiritual maybe for him as well, but I don't know. Like that would be kind of a. I did hear something, and I like what he's doing, where he's given, I think, 10 scholarships out to the first responders or whatever, like in their names. So I thought that was kind of cool. So I like what he's doing. I like what he's doing with his.
Yes, that's wonderful right there. That's wonderful. But with that team, period, something's not right with that team. And also, their coach probably is going to be on the hot seat.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's just run its course with him because, like I said, they looked like a perennial powerhouse, last 2 to 3 years, and it's that decline, man. It comes at you
And
quick, I guess.
teams figured out their blueprint. They know it's either Josh Allen running, passing, and it's Josh Allen, it's Stephon Diggs. And they figure, hey,
Yeah.
we put Stephon Diggs in check. Good luck. Josh
Yeah, they
can't
don't
run
have
through all of us.
no, they're running backs and stuff. I don't know, just something.
They don't use the running backs enough.
No,
Because think
no.
about this. How can the Browns average 150 yards a game rushing since Nick Chubb went out and you don't have Nick Chubb? You're doing it with basically two unknowns and Kareem Hunt you just picked up off the street.
Yeah, I mean, they were showing the statistics during the game, and that they were averaging more, a little bit more, but I think with instead of 30 carries, it's with 34 carries, so the average is not quite as high as with Nick Chubb. And the one that commentator, I think Adam Archuleta, was pointing out, which I think he's absolutely correct with this, but he was saying that the one thing you do lack with not having Nick Chubb is that home run ability, especially late in the fourth quarter, which we haven't got. Now we got the home run with Jerome Ford, the first one, in Indianapolis with that first score. We went like 69 yards, and he did that in Pittsburgh too. So I mean, but you're not getting it later in the game. I think and that's what the Browns are accustomed to, where you build a lead and then you kind of ice them down with the run. And now, but we got Deshaun Watson back, so you would think that with a more steady diet of controlled passes, rollouts, so into Njoku like they had with that touchdown. I mean, That was a nice play right there. So I think there'll be more innovative plays right there. It will be kind of an extension of the run via the pass.
Yes. Yes. And believe it or not, you got people that's still not happy.
Never are, Keith. Never are. And that's, it's the one thing about sports. It's like, you can win ugly or lose pretty, and people are mad either way. And I get that. And I don't know. I'd rather just win and not really worry about how you did it and just move on to the next, hopefully win and start. Like you said, we were talking about it yesterday, stacking those wins.
They're 5-3. Right where I picked them to be, honestly. They're right where I had them at this time of the year. Now, the losses are a little bit, and actually, one loss is off because I had them losing in the first half of the season. I had them losing game 2 at Pittsburgh. Because for some reason, they just don't play well up there.
Never, I know.
I had them losing to San Francisco. And I had them losing at Seattle, ironically. I had them
losing at Seattle, too. That's a tough place to.
And think about this. The only game they really haven't been in really was the Baltimore game. And you kind of look at it, they played with one hand tied behind their back at the last second. And really, the Browns was really responsible for that loss, if you really think about it.
But I think that whole Ravens thing, like if there's one win or one game that I wish we could have back, is because obviously with them pulling out to like basically, it's a one game with the loss record, but it's just, you see those 7 wins and it's just like, gosh, and I know they played one more game than us, but it's just, you're thinking to yourself, we'd have the same number of losses and it would be obviously better in the division. So that's the one game I look at the schedule where I would actually trade the Baltimore loss with the San Francisco win, because like I said, that's an NFC opponent. And, at the end of the day, you can lose to as many NFC teams as you want to compared to the AFC, and it won't hurt you as bad when it comes to playoff seeding. So, I mean, it's fun to beat the Niners, and that was a fun game, but I would definitely trade the Baltimore game, but also the Pittsburgh. I hate Pittsburgh too, so you know what I'm saying. And you got to beat those divisional opponents, especially Baltimore and Pittsburgh. So,
which means somebody's getting evicted out the top 10 in my top 10.
Well, that's right. Talk
Got a couple of eviction notices on Wednesday evening. The Locked On Sports 216 NFL Power Rankings will be out, and there will be a few changes.
Like I said, get those eviction slips, because Keith is coming for you, teams out there. So you don't want to feel the ire of.
And Keith. I will say this: one whole division is actually in the top 10. but I'm not going to say.
Oh, I wonder what division that could be, Keith.
You'll see on Wednesday.
Ooh, little teaser right there.
Yeah, one whole division is in the top 10.
Little teaser, but you know what? We'll wait. We'll wait on. I guess we'll just do this. You know what? It's always time to go. Let's go around the NFL. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So obviously we had on Thursday night, we had the Steelers beating the Titans 20-16. We've talked about this already a little bit. Will Levis looking good for Tennessee, but once again, yes. The Steelers getting it done. Your thoughts on this game? Just one thought, because like I said, I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but you know,
Tennessee found a quarterback.
Well, that's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. Okay. Well,
they found the quarterback. Tannehill, days is numbered.
Yeah, I would agree with that. We're going over to Germany. Let's go across the pond over to Frankfurt, Germany, where the Dolphins lost to the Chiefs 21-14. My takeaway from this game is, from what I'm seeing on social media, can the Dolphins actually beat a good team? Because they haven't yet, and they lost again to the Chiefs 21-14.
You had the same. You must have been reading my mind.
Yeah, great minds think alike right here.
Miami, they're good, but it's like they do it against sub 500 teams, and every team they done played that's been up to task, they done got beat.
Yep. All right, here's a good game that we were talking about because of one Joshua Dobbs. Vikings 31, Falcons 28. The legend of Joshua Dobbs. What's your take? Because I mean, what a win! Got traded to the Vikings and goes and gets that victory. Obviously, he was with the Cleveland Browns in the preseason and looking like he can win some games. I mean, maybe he could have won the DTR game. Just saying.
But you know what? Shouts out to Joshua Dobbs, for real. Shouts out to him. You know, he was in a hopeless situation in Arizona. If you really think about it. And
he beat the Cowboys. He beat the Cowboys.
Yeah, he beat the Cowboys. And he had that team competitive.
Yeah, he did.
For the most part. And now he done went to a team with a little bit more talent. And they got a shot at actually going to the playoffs.
Exactly. I'm glad you said that. That was my exactly. I'm glad that was my second point, and you took it. Like I said, we play off each other. Like little LeBron Kyrie action coming at you. Yeah. And then We Like Sportz Show. That's
shout out to Josh. Keep doing a good job. Shout out to him.
Here's a game: Packers 20, Rams 3. Now, once again, most of America had to put up with it a little bit. I think when I saw what was on Fox, but. I didn't take too much stock in this game. Keith, did you?
I didn't even change the channel.
Okay, fair enough. I didn't either. I kept it. And usually I'm flipping around, but you know I didn't. The only thing I could say that the Packers, hey, their 4-game slides over with. So congratulations.
It's about I think Pittsburgh plays them next. I think.
Yeah.
So it's about to start back over.
Yeah, there you go. That's okay. That's our expert analysis that you're going to get on
it's
that
about
one.
To start over, so hey.
Yeah. Here's one, obviously, and I think I went with this. I had Washington over New England, and they got the job done 2017. How far has the mighty New England Patriots fallen?
Sometimes you don't realize what you miss until it's gone.
Well, that's poetically said, and I think I know what you're talking about.
That's all I got to say. And number 12 is not walking back through that locker room stall.
That 80 for Brady, right? Here we go. New Orleans 24, Bears 17. Now, obviously, I think he's playing a little better when he's playing is Derek Carr. I think he's looking better this year. And one thing I got to say about the Bears are they're 2-7. The Bears really want to do themselves a favor, keep losing ball games, because I think the Justin Fields experiment should be over with, because their backup quarterback that's been playing pretty good lately, Tyson Bagent, he's actually looking like a baller. And I think I don't even know where he came from. I think it was a smaller school where he's from. And he's moving that Bears offense a little bit more competitively than I think Justin Fields is. So at Bears, here's what I would do. Keep playing Tyson Bagent and keep losing, and do yourself a favor and get that crybaby Caleb Williams.
All I'm going to say is, there's nothing to say. Oh, no, you know what I'm going to say? I bet you another team wishes they had David Carr back.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
And they just dismissed everybody in the front, everybody on the coach's staff.
Well, here's a game that we talked about on Locked On Sports 216 a lot yesterday. But and it's who the Browns will be playing this week. But the Ravens 37, the Seahawks 3, and like we said, when the Ravens get a big lead, they put their foot on the gas. And also, too, got to shout out, happy birthday OBJ. He scored his first Ravens touchdown.
Yes,
on his
sir.
birthday
Happy
yesterday.
birthday, OBJ. I missed that orange orange Cleveland Browns car that used to roll around with.
Oh yeah, the one. Yeah. Was that a Mercedes or something or one of? Something,
it was
I forget.
A Bentley, I think.
A Bentley or something.
Yeah. But happy birthday, OBJ. And like I said, simple. And Lamar, I trust.
Fair enough. And a game we've beaten over and over because it was a fun game. Texans 39, Buccaneers 37. I thought one of the most interesting things was, how do the Texans not have a backup kicker or somebody? Like, I understand, but they were going for 2-point conversions and things like that because their kicker was hurt, and they brought in a running back. I think he kicked a 29-yard field goal or did something crazy. But yeah, here's the thing: the NFL teams, make sure you have a backup quarterback, but make sure, I'm not saying you should have a backup kicker on your roster, but make sure you got somebody out there that can actually, I don't know, make up an extra. I wouldn't even say extra. Now that they moved the extra points back, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's not as easy as I thought anymore. So I don't know, do something, but it's an NFL game, and you got to make sure you got a kicker some way, shape, or form.
TJ Stroud threw one of the prettiest passes in the NFL yesterday.
And you're talking about the one before the touchdown.
Yes, correct, sir. Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. All I gotta do is say CJ Stroud. That's it. Carolina, how did y'all mess that up?
Yep. Well, here's a game we forgot. I mentioned, but the 1-7 Carolina Panthers lost to the Indianapolis Colts 27-13 in the game I didn't even know Carolina played. That shows how bad I've been getting lately. But the only thing I'm going to ask you is this: obviously, they got Bryce Young, so if they get the number 1 pick, is it Marvin Harrison?
They better hope so.
Yeah. I mean, because they're not going to take Caleb Williams. I mean, who would you take, or would you
if
trade?
If they get the number 1 pick, they might trade down because a team gonna need a quarterback. So
yeah, that's exactly right.
They would be behooved not to. Okay. It all depends how far down, because you really think
because I would think you'd want to secure an offensive weapon to help out Bryce Young.
Because the first 2 or 3 picks, depending on teams right now, is Carolina, Chicago, which means Caleb Williams, Michael Penix.
Yes.
And then maybe trade down to 3 or whoever's at 3.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
you just got to make sure Marv.
Oh, okay. Well, here's a game that was maybe now this is another conundrum right here, because we got the Giants losing the Raiders 30-6. But here's the thing: now Danny Dimes tears his ACL. You just signed him to a 4-year mega deal, and let's be real. If you ask Giants fans, say you'd get the number 1 pick, wouldn't you rather have Caleb Williams than Danny Dimes?
Caleb Williams to New York?
That'd be. Yeah,
that sounds like a plan right there.
What would you do? What would you do with Danny Dimes? I mean, he's got that contract. I mean, what would you do to him? That's the thing. These teams got these quarterbacks, and maybe it would have been better, behooved them better if we would just wait.
The Raiders need a quarterback.
Well, they're 4-5 now. They keep winning games.
But they need a QB.
Well, so he's Danny Dimes to Vegas then,
and think about it, Tampa Bay. Baker's only on a 1-year deal.
1-year deal, yeah.
The Rams probably need a quarterback because Stafford isn't exactly 25 no more.
No, he's not. He's definitely not. He'll throw for some irrelevant yards, though, still.
Yeah, and, Shanahan then showed he can work miracles because they're not really committed to Purdy for real, financially.
No.
Green Bay.
There you go. Okay. No love for Jordan. They're going to Green Bay.
I'm just being honest, going down the line. Not saying that they would, but it could be possible. Hell, Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not buying Kenny Small Hands Pickett.
If Pittsburgh somehow got in the top 5, they would pick a quarterback.
Yeah, I think you'd have to.
Yeah, they'd pick a quarterback.
Okay. All right. Bengals, Bills from last night. Burrow, 348 yards and 2 touchdowns. Gosh, he looks good again, doesn't he?
Hey, it is what it is.
I know.
And to think about this, they will probably be up in their rankings and still in last place in their division. Can you imagine that?
That is amazing.
They will be up in the rankings and still be in last place.
Jeez, I don't. Oh well, I got some break-in news. Unfortunately,
can I give a shout out though? Shout out to Las Vegas Raiders head coach Antonio Pierce getting his first win in the league, and he did it against his former team. He played for. Shout out to him. Congratulations. And hopefully there's more for him to come.
Yes, congratulations, Pierce. But like I said, breaking news, our guest Ashton Nix, I should say, he can't make it on. He ran into some issues. Yeah, still. Well, you know what? 500 to 700,000 fans or whatever like that. So, shout out to him. So we'll go into our game. We'll talk about it because I think it was one of the game of the weekend when it comes to the NFL. But Dallas at Philadelphia. Now we can talk about it. So I'm watching this game, Keith. Like I said, I can't stop but think about our conversation that we had yesterday on the pre and post on the Locked On Sports 216. But so I'm watching the game. I'm watching it, and I'm watching Dak Prescott. And you know what? There's times that he looks amazing. He really looks amazing. And then he does that 2-point conversion, and he steps out of bounds. And it just seems like he gets snake bitten by dumb things happen to him all the time.
Yes, Dak played well. He played well, but he couldn't make the play at the end to win the game.
And taking that sack, you can't take a sack. These quarterbacks, they should have plays where, okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, if it's get rid of, you cannot
throw it in the end zone, do anything. Overthrow it in the end zone.
Then you can't be spinning around and doing this. You know who gets in trouble with that a lot, and he has the most fumbles in FBS since in the last 2 years. But Caleb Williams of USC does that a lot. He has the most fumbles when it comes down. These quarterbacks get back there, and they, not everybody's Johnny Manziel. We can spin around and do this and do that. And the reason why Johnny got away with it is because he was so small.
What do you think of Caleb Williams' pro prospects, though? Honestly,
you know what? Here's the thing: watching him and some of the throws that he can make, like the sidearm throw and stuff like that. I think he's the closest thing prospect-wise to Patrick Mahomes. And, he's got the frame. He's got the arm. Look, I didn't like him crying, okay? But at the same time, like, I like guys that he cares. He does care about winning. And the fact that, he could have just shut it down after, they lost. But he's still playing. He has nothing to play for. Actually, if I'm his agent, I'm saying, look, dude, what are we doing here? I'm done. We got 3 losses now. I'm shutting it down. You're the number 1 pick overall. So
I'd cry too if I had that defense.
It's funny. Here's the thing. Here's what's funny. Okay. Now fired defensive coordinator Alex Grinch. Yeah. Here's the thing. So in 7th grade, when I moved down to Columbus, Alex Grinch was in my grade. His dad was the principal. Shout out to Park Street Elementary School or middle school, not there anymore. But I went to high school with him. Really? I was on the tennis team with him. I've known Alex Grinch like I said, from 7th grade to all the way through 12th grade. And what a good kid, you know what I'm saying? And to watch him get, nobody wants to see anybody get fired. But I will say one thing. I'm sure you'll find another job, Alex Grinch, and, continued success in whatever you do in life. But yeah, it's just funny. So I'm watching him on the side. And I keep showing him Alex, and Kirk Herbstreit keeps talking about Alex Grinch. They keep showing him. And I keep looking at him like, gosh, he's the same kid that, I'd gone to school with. But, I'm quite bigger than, I'm saying he's like 6'3", 2. I mean, he's perfect. He went to Mountain Union, won 3 national championships with the Mountain Union Purple Raiders. So, the kid's always been good at sports and everything. So, like I said, it didn't work out in USC, but you can't give up 50 points a game.
I'll just say this. They talking about Deion Sanders and them needed linemen and defense and stuff like that. USC, anybody can score in that defense. Anybody.
Well, it's funny because I was and Kirk Herbstreit mentioned it during the game, and what a great game that Washington USC game was on Saturday night. And it's funny because I'm watching USC, and usually, they've had a tradition of having a great defense, and I get the men of Troy, but they are undersized. You're watching Colorado Buffaloes, and I remember when they played USC, and that was a good game in Boulder earlier this year.
Honestly, Colorado Buffalo's defense got more fight in them than that USC defense.
I agree with that. And that's why I give Coach Prime props, because they are very much undersized, especially up the middle. But then I looked at the USC team, and obviously they're a little bit bigger than Colorado. But when you're going up against the Washingtons, and now USC has to play Oregon, and obviously we saw what Oregon did to Colorado, and I think Oregon's going to pour it on USC this next
Caleb
week.
going to be doing a lot of crying in the next few weeks.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
They got to go against UCLA, and UCLA quietly is like one of the most physical teams in that league.
Yeah.
You see how they physically dominated Colorado a couple of weeks back?
Yeah. Oof. It's not gonna be good, Keith. So I don't know. I don't know, but like I said, we'll transition into college football talk here, since it's kind of the natural progression of it. Went from the one pigskin to another here. So obviously, OSU survived Rutgers this past weekend. I was out staying in my deck at the time, so I come in, and it's 9-7 at halftime, and I could have had it on the radio, and I didn't want to do that to myself. I just thought to myself, let's try to be. I got to deal with the Browns tomorrow. Shout out to Paul Keels, the voice of the Buckeyes. He called the game for the Browns yesterday. That was nice to hear. Obviously, with Jim Donovan get well. But so I see it's 9-7, and then I go back outside. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna cut the grass one last time. For the year, I'm looking for anything to do, because I don't want to sit down and watch the game. I'm looking for things to do. So I go out and cut the grass, break a few leaves, and I come back in, and they're up 35-16. I'm like, well, all is right with the world right there. So and then I saw what the Buckeyes did with that 93-yard touchdown interception return, and then Marvin Harrison Jr. with his 2 touchdowns. So all is right in the world with that. But so your college football rankings, obviously we have going into this past weekend. I think they'll get released tomorrow night. I think.
Yes, tomorrow night.
We had Ohio State 1, Georgia 2, Michigan 3, Florida State 4. Do you see? I think all 4 stayed in the top 4. I don't know if that's going to Ohio State will stay number 1. I think they should, because here's the reason why. If you actually, it's funny because I saw this on social media, but if you actually look at Michigan, when they showed the resume of Michigan, one of their top wins was Rutgers. So how can you penalize Ohio State for going to New Jersey? They covered the spread. The spread was 18, I believe 18.5. They won by 19, so they covered the spread, and they beat a team where you're giving Michigan credit for a quality win. And how can you penalize the Buckeyes? That makes no sense.
Right, you can't. I think they'll keep Ohio State number 1 this week. But then again, with them calls, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I
think Georgia
in early December.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It doesn't really matter until I'm saying. The only thing I'll say this is, okay, so obviously Ohio State and Michigan play each other, so there's going to be one loss between them. So obviously Georgia, I think, probably will be undefeated. I think Florida State will be undefeated. I'm looking at this. Okay, so say another team gets tripped up, or one of the teams gets tripped up. I think Oregon is probably the best one-loss team right now. They're the team that scares me. And I guess it all depends on what Ohio State does with Michigan. If it's a close game, but they lose. But I think it's really interesting because, of all the years to have an 18 playoff, Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, Florida State, Washington, Oregon, and then throw in 2 others, I think this would obviously be the most competitive 18 playoff that we probably would have had in the last 20 years.
And if Ohio State does, unfortunately, lose to Michigan, they would need Washington to lose.
Yeah, and I think
I'm gonna be honest. Washington got past the landmine with USC.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Well,
here's the thing as well. Washington's defense is. I mean, that USC Washington game. I mean, they were scoring at will. But gosh, that running, everybody talks about Mike Penix, but that running back Dylan, Johnson or whatever for Washington,
that dude had his way.
A beast.
Yes, because the one thing about Washington and that you don't see really with Florida State, Georgia, Michigan, and Ohio State. They're prone to making mistakes. And if they was to play any of the top 4, and their defense is probably not as strong as the other 4 ahead of them.
Yeah,
because you really think about it, Washington beat Oregon just because Lannon was too full of himself, for real.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe when I saw
you go for it on a 4th and 3 at midfield in Washington with Penix. You give Penix a short field. Ooh. That's not going to end well for you if you don't make it.
I know.
And think about this. Lannon probably cost Oregon a shot at the national title.
Probably. Yeah. Well, like I said, I think that Ohio State loses badly to Michigan, and maybe Georgia trips up or Florida State trips up, then I think Oregon is that first team in with 1 loss.
Because if Oregon meets Washington, they'll have to beat them.
I think
Pac-12 championship.
Yeah, and I think that they would right now.
Like
from what
you
I
said,
saw,
I don't see Georgia losing, and I don't see Florida State losing either.
What did you think about that Alabama LSU game? Alabama, yeah.
That man Milroe has came miles.
I'm glad you good. Okay, yeah, that was my number one take on
that. He reminds you of how TJ Stroud started off.
Yeah, he's just getting better.
Where he was a little iffy at first, and now, woo! Alabama be the team you don't want to face.
No,
but I don't think they can beat Georgia, though.
I don't think so. No. No, well, that's what, because usually even the SEC, I don't. In Ole Miss, I think I think Ole Miss has a big game coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some teams out there, but they're just not at the caliber of Georgia, and I think that so I think that they're definitely gonna take care of.
But Alabama is capable. They are capable, but I don't see it. But let's just say, if the SEC title game is Georgia, Alabama, I'll probably be rooting for Alabama to beat Georgia. But you know how the NCAA is more privy to the SEC than any other conference,
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, I agree.
But
yeah, so we got that. So I was gonna do this. So we always like to have a little time hop trivia right here. So I'm gonna test your knowledge. So we're gonna go back to college, the landscape of college football in 2004. So some of these bowl games might have been in 2005, but this is a 2004 season. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So do you remember who your 2004 national champion was?
No.
Okay, I'll give you a hint or that time period. Let's just say that Snoop Dogg would have been very happy.
USC?
Yeah, USC.
The Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart?
Yes. They played Oklahoma in the national title game in the Orange Bowl.
They blew Oklahoma out, didn't they?
Yeah.
They may beat them like 55 to
yes,
20.
you got it. You nailed it. It was 55-19. I remember that game. That was the Ashley Simpson debacle where she was singing a song at halftime and she was lip syncing or something. I do remember that. Nick Lachey was there. So that was that. There was another good game in the bowl championship. Well, the major bowls, I should say. Yeah, bowl championship series games. Do you remember the Rose Bowl that year? And who would, unless you're, but it involved a team up north and they played Texas. Do you remember who won that game?
Michigan and Texas?
Yes.
Texas won that game, didn't they?
Texas did win that game 38-37.
Texas had some interesting Rose Bowls in that 2-year period.
They did, and obviously you remember the one with Vince Young.
Obviously, when they beat USC. Yeah,
that was yes. So, yeah, like I said, that was college landscape in 2004. And that's okay. Let's see this. Let's see one more question here. When it comes to win percentage of bowl teams, the Big Ten played in 6 games, and the SEC played in 6 bowl games. Who had a better win percentage? And this is a trick question.
In 2004, probably the Big Ten.
Now, you're not wrong. The Big Ten was 3-3, and the SEC was 3-3. So they're both 500.
Oh, they're both
that was a trick question.
Okay. Yeah.
So basically, it's funny. Everybody talks about the SEC being so much better. There was a time period where the SEC had some dominance. But if you look at the overall major college landscape in the last 50 years, you know what? You put these records up against, especially in bowl games, they're all about the same, about 500. So, you know, they can talk all the smack they want. They got a lot of national titles because of Alabama.
Plus, the SEC is top heavy, for real. It's
so,
Alabama,
so
Georgia, and LSU. And after that,
yeah, that's. We're also going to play another game. We're going to have Ashton on, but I'll play it with you. Where will they land? And I don't mean college football players, because with NIL money, they can go wherever they want. It just depends on who's paying them. But I'll give you a couple.
And I'm good with that.
yeah, that's fine.
Coaches can do whatever they want to do. So, hey.
I agree with that.
Don't cry now.
Now, we'll start out with
the one started this.
Yeah, they did. You're right. We'll start out with the one player that we've been talking about on the We Like Sportz Show a lot, Shohei Ohtani. Where do you think he's going to go?
I say he goes down the street to the Dodgers.
Wow. I can't say you're wrong there. I can't say you're wrong there. Here's one that's not a free agent, but probably
especially now since Kershaw ain't coming back till like middle of the year next year.
Here's one where it's not a free agent, but is a Guardian. What do you think Shane Bieber is going to be next year?
He might still be a Guardian next year, and they'll probably trade him at the trade deadline.
Oh, okay. That's fair enough. And then we'll go with one more. JD Martinez. Where do you think he's going to be? He's a DH. Gosh, we could use him in Cleveland.
I was just about to say that. He can come to Cleveland.
Okay. Well, there you go. I'm not mad about that.
I'll take him. JD probably. He might end up wearing pinstripes next year.
I could see that as well. I like your first answer better, but
I like to see him in the Guardians uniform, but that's a little bit too much for the Guardians' taste, But I can see him in pinstripes next year.
Oh, fine. This game does not have to be just designated to Major League Baseball players. We'll do this. We'll have fun with it a little bit. College football. Where will Marvin Harrison Jr. play next year? And like I said, this is just for fun, and because it depends on who gets the first pick. But what do you see in your vision here? Where is he catching touchdown passes on Sunday?
Either Chicago or Carolina, or Houston.
I love that Houston, except they keep winning games. CJ Stroud's just so good. He's too good.
Yeah, but Houston, well, they ain't going to make a difference with the Browns draft pick. But because the Browns draft pick going to be in the 20s, more than likely.
Yeah.
Or the teens, high teens, early 20s. But he could be in, if Houston can finagle, they can make it happen.
Oh, Yes. Okay. Well, like I said, you know what? I am not going to just keep it to just, you know what? We're having fun. We're switching up. I'm calling audibles here. Where will they land? How about this? Where will Donovan Mitchell land in 2 years? Keita.
Donovan Mitchell,
Hot
2
seat right now. Hot seat.
years.
Is he going to re-sign after this year with the Cavs? Or is he going to go to New York and be a Knick?
He's not going to re-sign if JD's still the coach.
I think you're right.
I'm going to say that now. I'm just keeping it gully. And I think he's not going to re-sign if JB is the coach. And I think he will probably end up with the Knicks. But the Knicks got to want him.
That's true. You don't think they want him?
They got Jalen Brunson right now. So, I mean.
Yeah.
And it's said that they're in the market for possibly landing Embiid somehow.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't think they can pull off both of them. So you're right. If they want Embiid, I think. Wow.
Because if you give them Jalen Brunson and Embiid, you got something. But I don't know what you're going to give up. And I don't know if Philly willing to trade with New York.
Yeah. That's, jeez. Well, I got a fun one here.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Harbaugh.
Where he's going to end up?
Yeah. Does he go back to Ann Arbor? Or does he make a trip to the Carolina Panthers? Does he go?
Carolina just got a new coach this year, didn't they? Because they fired Rule last year.
Yeah, they fired Rule. You're right. There was some rumor they were mentioning it, and I thought that was kind of. You're right. They did. I have to look it up. Who is their coach? I don't know.
Jim Harbaugh might end up with the Raiders.
Oh, I like that. So then they would bring in who would be his quarterback?
Let's see.
Yeah, Frank Reich. Shout out to Frank Reich. I'm already firing Frank Reich. My bad. Sorry, Frank.
Yeah, because Jim Harbaugh might end up with the Raiders. Because Davis has got money.
Yes, they do. While they're paying McDaniels and
yeah, they pay.
Yeah. No, I think we're having some technical difficulties. Keith, I think your mic is a little.
Hold up. All right, you got me? Yeah.
Yeah, you good.
Yeah, they gonna probably try to hire Harbaugh because I'm gonna be honest, Harbaugh's sick and tired of the NCAA.
Yeah, I think you're right. Okay, that was our rousing edition of where
Ohio State. Y'all gotta kick him out. Y'all gotta kick him out.
Oh, I have a fun one. Where will they land? Will Kyle McCord still be the starter next year in Ohio State, or will Ryan Day say, you know what, we need to upgrade this and go look at the transfer portal? That's my last one.
Kyle McCord gonna be the starter. Okay. It's a shame that he won't be throwing the Maserati Marv next year, but he'll be the starter next year.
That's fair. I want to say this about Kyle McCord. Is he perfect? No. Is there things that he's frustrating with? But I'll say this. I've said this a lot. He makes the right reads. He just sometimes the ball is just not placed exactly as accurately as you want it to. But I'm okay with him. It's college football, and Marvin Harrison Jr. kind of erases some of those bad placements and can make up for it. And so does Emeka Egbuka, and that whole Buckeye wide receiver core is just ridiculous, and it has been for the last couple of years, and thank goodness it has been.
And I think Kyle will be a better quarterback next year because next year he won't have the cheat code, so he'll have to really go through his reads.
Oh, don't tell me that, Keith. Don't tell me he won't. As a Buckeye fan, I need that cheat code.
Maserati Marv is gone.
And rightfully so. Rightfully, honestly, he should be playing on Sundays now.
Yeah, he's gone. Trust me. If he stays, he need his head examined. I hate to say it like that because he's gonna be at least a top 5 pick.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Like I said, I would take him with. If you're not taking a quarterback, he would be my number one pick. If you're not taking a quarterback, I mean,
Yes.
position player. I don't know who else that you would value more than, especially in the NFL nowadays. I mean, to have a number one guy that for the next 10 to 12 years at the wide receiver position. I mean, you saw what his dad did for Peyton Manning in Indianapolis.
Yes.
I mean, my goodness.
He's just a bigger version of his father.
Jeez. And also, too, it's true. It's true. Marvin Harrison Jr. has a brother who's 14, and he says that he's better.
Yeah. Did you see that picture? I was like, what? He's better?
Yeah.
Ohio State better get on the phone with him real fast.
Well, from what I'm hearing is Marvin Harrison Jr. loves Ohio State and will probably make it very clear to his brother that he'd have no problems with him following his footsteps at the Ohio State University. And as a Buckeye alum, I couldn't be more willing to open him or welcome him with open arms. So please, find another quarterback too. But that's another.
Yeah. But Ryan Day will get another quarterback next year. He'll have another freshman next year. Trust me.
Yeah, they got that clean Holtz or something. I don't know. There's a couple of them, but I don't know. You hear on Buck Nuts and all these other publications that this guy's just that. I don't know. I think a lot of it's for clicks, but I don't know. I trust Ryan Day. He seems to always develop.
Truthfully, yours would have been a starter this year for real.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
he would have been a starter.
Yeah. Well, he went back to Texas and he took that NIL money he got in Columbus and went back to Texas. Hey, he became a rich man.
I ain't mad at him. Get all the money you can, you college athletes. If they offer it, take it.
Take it. Well,
because these coaches ain't turning it down, and they'll leave y'all hanging in a second.
You have something coming up at 7:00. Plug that.
Yes, man. Mondays will be coming on at 7:00. I don't know what we're gonna talk about. Just be real, and also.
I wanted you to also. Here's what your also is going to be. Let's get some for real. That's going to be your also. So whatever you got, let's make it an also for real.
All right, for real.
Yeah.
People are going to miss Jedrick Wills when he's gone for these next 4 weeks. Now, Jedrick Wills, was he perfect? Was he Joe Thomas? Hell no. But. Dude was there every Sunday. And he wasn't the worst. He wasn't a turnstile. And I'm telling you, these next 2 weeks, you better keep your fingers crossed. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say.
I think that was honestly, I think that was your best for real because it was short, it was sweet, and you know what? I think a lot of Browns fans, because the Jedrick Wills hate is real, and rightfully so. I mean, obviously the way that he's played, hasn't been at that all-pro level that Joe Thomas and nobody probably will ever play as great as that. But at the same time, he wasn't as bad as what people on social media want to portray him as.
Yeah, he wasn't as bad as people portray him as, and like I said, 4 weeks. And you got Baltimore and Pittsburgh coming up, and you just now starting to get in rhythm with your quarterback. And this happens. And Deron Jones ain't exactly healthy either.
I know, that's the thing. And then we got Hudson, you think at left tackle. I mean, they were talking about Batonio. There was talking about, there's some wild and crazy thoughts and musical chairs and all this crazy stuff going on. I think you just roll with Hudson at left tackle, keep Deron Jones.
You ain't got no choice. Yeah, you ain't got no choice right now. Too late in the season. And plus, really, you're going to put Batonio out at tackle when he used to playing guard?
Right. I know. Right. Come on.
No.
Oh, well. I think we had a great show. Like I said, we'll get Ashton on. He's probably still partying with the Texas Rangers. Shout out and congratulations to the Texas Rangers for getting it done. But we got some business to do this week. You got Mad Mondays today, and then you check out the Locked On Sports 216 pre and post game. We got the Ravens coming up this weekend. Feel free to invite me, or I might just crash the party. You know me.
Go ahead, crash the party.
I'm just gonna crash the party. Open house, I'm coming.
Be ready for the rankings on Wednesday.
Also to check out the We Like Sportz website at WeLikeSportsPC.com.
Yes.
Shout out to Sean. He's got his top 25, his real top 25 college football rankings, and got the schedules and everything like that. So you want to check that out. That's good stuff right there. And I ain't got much. Congratulations to my son who made the 8th grade basketball team. So shout out to them.
Congrats. And I also want to say shout out to Deshaun Watson. Started off a little jittery at first, but as the game went on, dude threw the prettiest pass. He threw 2 pretty long-range passes, which is something we haven't seen in the Browns passing game in a while. And truthfully, he hit Goodwin on a good one. Goodwin should have caught it.
He should have, yeah. He should have.
So, hey.
Well, Keith, I always love flying with you. You know, you're my guy and everything like that. So appreciate you hanging with me tonight. Like I said, it was always fun hanging with you on the weekends, and you're my guy. And, you know,
no doubt.
The We Like Sportz Show is better for having us. I congratulate. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Jesus loves those that love themselves. We love ourselves. We love you. We love everybody for tuning in. And tomorrow, very, very special day in America. Keith, tell everybody what tomorrow is and what they need to do.
Make sure you all get up and go vote on November 7th. Get up and go vote.
That's right. Simple message. Simple. Hey, we're not asking.
I'm not going to tell you what to vote for and who to vote
care.
for.
We don't care. We don't need to know. We don't care.
If somehow whatever issue pertains to you and you think that's how it should be, go vote.
Go vote.
Because you have nothing to say if it goes left and you don't cast your vote. Go vote.
Absolutely. That's right. Make this country better, but you got to do it. Do your civic duty. Go out there and vote tomorrow. Keith couldn't have said it better myself. And like I said, everybody out there, tune in next Monday at 5:30 for the We Like Sportz Show. But also check out the Lockdown Sports 216 pre and post game. Check out Mad Mondays coming up at 7. The Triad Committee and everything you got going on, Keith. You know what I feel? I love plugging your stuff. You guys are a bunch of great guys, and I love helping you guys out. And like I said, it's a symbiotic relationship we got going on. So everybody out there in the We Like Sportz world, hey, shoot us a comment, follow us, check out the podcast. We'll have Breakhead News. I'll put this up on Wednesday morning.
Because what we need more comments, more input, because we are interactive shows.
We love it. Tell us, hey, comment, tell us we suck. We don't care. We love it. It don't matter.
Hit us up.
Yeah. Hit us up. Get that chat line going. Get that chat line going.
If you want to say a player sucks or a team sucks, we might not agree with you. But feel free to do that. That's what we're here for.
Absolutely.
You ain't even got to wait on the line.
No. We get you first. Hey, VIP, you're number 1. The bouncer getting you in the club. We get you in the club.
We get you in the club easily.
That's right. So, but thanks, Keith. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for everybody out there that tuned in to the latest edition of the We Like Sportz Show. And we will see you next Monday at 5:30. Until then, enjoy your sports and love it because we do.
Yes. Peace. Have a good week. Peace.